What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today, including the fact that Aaron Judge, he's just casually on pace to challenge Ichiro's single season hit record. Ichiro had 262 back in 2004. Judgy, he's on pace for 261. Oh, no. Mike Trout and the Angels, they got a punch to the you-know-what yesterday. Trouty, he banged up that surgically repaired left knee. I feel like the Angels, honestly, they're going to have some tough conversations here soon. Or maybe they're just going to wait it out and pray for a comeback, because so far that's been working for Javier Baez and the Tigers, because Javi, he's seeing beach balls. The Tigers are playing really well. Yesterday, he hit a grand slam. And also, we'll talk about this first up in the video, but we had a scary situation down in Pittsburgh. A fan fell 20 plus feet. Everyone was in total shock, and I've been praying for that guy since yesterday. So again, we'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap, a series in which we recap every game every single day. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, and leave a like. Also, don't forget that recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Be sure to save yourself 20 bucks off all of your tickets using code Fuzzy. And if you download Underdog Fantasy to your phone, a lot of you guys have done that as of late. You guys have been DMing me saying it's been a lot of fun. Be sure to use code Fuzzy. They'll give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash credit. A lot of you guys have been just putting your baseball knowledge to the test, and honestly, been really rewarded for it. So always play responsibly, but you guys are crushing it. We're going to start with this Pirates game because I got to say a few prayers for a fan. And I mean, the first 6 innings kind of culminated to this Andrew McCutchen RBI single up the middle, and it got kicked away. So another run scores. The Pirates, they end up winning 4-3 after they got the lead on this wild deflection. But as you can see, McCutchen is kind of in shock. Everyone's looking out to right field. I'm not going to show it because it was scary, but a fan fell from the Clemente wall. He's in critical condition. So again, all of the prayers in the world are up. The crowd was kind of taken out after that. Everyone was kind of in a daze. I don't blame them one bit, by the way. David Bednar, he's been pretty good since being sent down to AAA and getting a reset. He has 8 strikeouts in 6 innings since being demoted to AAA. The Pirates, they beat a pretty good Cubs team, but again, all prayers go out to that fan. It was scary. Lucas Giolito is back, but we'll get to him in a minute because we have a balk with runners on. That's on Kirk 1,000%. He did that way too late, and Yariel Rodriguez, he's like, wait, what? And he stopped. I guess it wouldn't have mattered regardless because Bregman, he went yard like 2 seconds later. Bregman has 11 doubles, 7 home runs, and 24 RBIs. Here's Lucas Giolito. Apparently he has some tattoos now. He threw 94 upstairs to strike out Dalton Varsho. Jarren Duran, he makes it 3-0 on a single. And Rafael Devers, he's now able to skate into second and score Duran on a heat-seeking double. I'm going to get this right. There's no way I get this wrong again. Carlos Narvaez. I've said Omar Narvaez for his first 2 home runs. That's his third right there, and I finally got it right. Lucas, he's up 6. He's about to go 6. Okay, Dalton Varsho. He sent out his first home run. It's a 3-run home run. Here's the Lucas Giolito we've become accustomed to as of late. Alejandro Kirk goes 424 feet on that solo shot. He makes it back-to-back home runs with Varsho. Garrett Whitlock, dude, he was not the Warlock. Anthony Santander is feeling himself. That's his 2nd home run his last 3 games. This one's a massive 3-run home run to tie it at 6. The next run is going to win it. Kirk, the comeback is complete. Down in the 6th, no problem. The Jays, they storm all the way back and they take it 7-6. All right, real quick, I'm going to show off the Reds and Cardinals doubleheader because it proves that the Cardinals are the strangest team in all of baseball. Maybe aside from the Orioles. Mason Wynn is in the 2-hole. He drops a bomb, his 3rd of the year. Now he's kind of panicking on defense because Ellie hit one to Mason. Mason couldn't beat the runner to second base, so he fired across his body. Ellie's safe as well. They overturned it. They called him out, and then they called him safe. Miles, he went 5 1/3 shutout, but the Cardinals are not taking any chances. They're bringing in a reliever, and they push the right button. Kyle Leahy, he got Lux to fly out, and then Gorman, he snagged a Noelvi Marte ground ball, so no damage is done. The Cardinals bullpen allowed 0 base hits the rest of the game. Then there's Alexis Diaz of the Reds, who gave up a 3-run tank to the speedster Victor Scott, who's got 2 home runs, 10 stolen bases, 4 DRS, and 6 outs above average. It's kind of been a Kroger's Pete Crow Armstrong. Lars, he and Mason go, wait, that's a Freudian slip. I messed up. Mason did go back-to-back, but that was after Lars, so that's 3 home runs in a row. St. Louis, they came into this one 12-17, and in one game they got 5 1/3 shutout from Miles Michaelis, 0 base hits from the bullpen. Oh, and then they went even crazier in game 2. The Reds rookie 22-year-old Chase Petty, he's making his debut, and Wilson Contreras said hello. Within a few minutes, it was spoiled. He jolted out a 3-run home run. So the Cardinals now have, 4 home runs their last 2 innings? Make it 5. And 6 on the day. Pedro Pai's got a hanging cutter. We knew that this was coming because he fouled off like 6 pitches, which is never a good sign because that basically means that you're on it. The Cardinals kept pouring it on against the helpless rookie. Donovan had an RBI right before Jordan Walker stepped up with the bases loaded, and he ripped one to the gap. Jordan has a 4-game hit streak, so his batting average is finally over 200. He's way too young to be called a bust, but he's got a -1 WAR and a 66 OPS plus his last 78 games. Chase Petty's out. You can tell that he's a fiery guy. He's upset at himself. Pedro Pai's got another RBI on the Nolan Gorman sprint to home. That's an RBI fielder's choice. Everyone's safe. The Cardinals just missed a 10 spot as Victor Scott secured a 3 RBI doubleheader. He's going to steal 50 bags one day if he keeps up this on-base stuff. The Cardinals stopped the Red Hot Reds in Cincinnati. They sweep the doubleheader to improve to 14-17. They look like a juggernaut right there, but they're 3 games under 500 after winning 2 games in a row. You know who else is a weird team? My team, the Guardians. Their starting pitchers have been getting crushed, and they've had essentially zero production from shortstop. Outfielders not named Stephen Kwan. Clase's blown multiple games, yet somehow a W here on Star Wars night can get them to 17-13. Jose, he needed the force to throw out Byron Buxton. He's not force sensitive, though. He's a human being on planet Earth, so no, it's not happening. The Twins have finally given Buxton the green light. He's up to 7 stolen bases. He gets the third base on the bat throw, but Luis Ortiz, he dug deep. What a disgusting pitch. He shaves the outside corner to end that threat. He leaves after going 6 1/3 scoreless with 5 strikeouts, and you can see exactly why Cleveland has so many wins. Just give this kid a lead, and he'll take you home. Cade Smith strikes out 2 in a row. He has a 1.7 ERA and a 12.5 strikeouts per 9 his first 91 big league innings. Pablo Lopez, he was awesome, but Manzo, he wants him gone, and if that ball would have dropped, maybe they pull him, but Deshaun Kersey Jr., he went airborne to make that play. That saves a run, but Pablo, he ruined his own gem. He threw it into right field. I feel like I've been seeing that a lot lately, just baseball sailing into right or left field, and I've seen this a lot lately. Bo Naylor, back-to-back nights with an absolute missile. He had 2 home runs and 6 RBIs his first 19 games. He has 2 home runs and 4 RBIs his last 24 hours of baseball. The Twins, they got 1 back on a Brooks Lee solo home run. And dear Lord, no way that this is happening. Clase, that's a wild pitch. It's 4-2. I'm scared. Okay, thank God. The newly acquired Cody Clemens, he strikes out. He got DFA'd by the Phillies. Clase has 5 saves on the year. The Guardians are 17-13. The Twins are 13-18. Staying with weird teams, if the Cardinals aren't the weirdest team, it's got to be the Orioles. And real talk, is Judge about to have the greatest non-steroid season ever? He's hitting .427 after this game with 10 home runs, 32 RBIs, and he's back to being a good defender. He also stole a bag in this game, so he's literally doing everything. He's on pace for 261 base hits this year, just shy of Ichiro's 262. Ryan Mountcastle is pretty happy that they brought in that stupid left field wall of doom that they built a few years ago. He was one of the biggest victims of it. That's a 2-run home run that does not leave if they do not bring the wall in. Ramon Urias, he's kind of a silent assassin. No one but Baltimore fans talk about him, but he quietly has a career .330 on base and a 110 OPS plus. That was his second of the year. Adley, he's sitting .365 with 3 walks in the 4 games since we called them out. You're welcome, Orioles fans. Okay, what's happening here? Heston, he did not like that Pablo Reyes hit the Mario jump and landed on his head. He barked at Pablo. He literally said, if you're going to go up, do not land on my effing head. So the bench is clear, which is always funny because the bullpen runs out. Nothing ever happens. But here's something that's happening. Goldie, he's an all-time lefty masher, 425 feet. He matches Aaron Judge. Goldie's hitting .356 with 10 extra base hits. Remember, he's 37 years old. Jackson Holliday is 16 years younger than Goldie. Baltimore fans are grateful that he tacked on 1 more because Judge's third base hit would have tied it. Instead, it's 5-4. The Mountain is on the bump for the 9th inning. He tossed some Ched to end it. He has 5 saves. The Orioles, with that W, are now 12-18. Who's a weirder team, the Cardinals or the Orioles? To me, I still think that it's the Cardinals because they have one of the better offenses in baseball, and sometimes they get good starts, but you can say the same about the Orioles, and they're just slumping lately. We have another New York team involved in a 1-run game. Let's check it out. Mark Vientos, he put the Mets up 1 on his 4th home run. He's batting over 300 with 11 RBIs his last 11 games. Shout out to this guy, by the way, Brandon Waddell. He just became the first Mets pitcher ever to throw 4 or more shutout innings in their Mets relief debut. So he goes 4 1/3 shutout with 4 strikeouts. He's not a rookie, by the way. He's 30 years old. Ryan Stanek, yikes, Mets fans are going to personally DFA him by themselves. His cold streak continued. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Jorge Barroso, they both got on. Lourdes with the single, Barroso with the double, and Arizona, they needed a bigger bat with 2 outs, so they deploy Geraldo Perdomo. There's no wiggle room. He's the perfect guy for the job. That's a go-ahead 2-run double for Corbin Burnes, who's off the hook now, and he's finally going to get his first Snakes victory. Barossa and Perdomo, their sac flies in the 9th were clutch for Corbin because Tyrone Taylor, he socked one out. Justin Martinez, the reliever for the Snakes, was terrible. He hits Pete Alonso to load the bases. Ryan Thompson, he's going to have to really clutch up if Corbin is going to keep that first Snakes W. He strikes out Mark Vientos. Winker then rolled over, but Lindor scored. That's why the sac flies were so key. They needed all 4 runs. Ryan Thompson pulled that out of his you-know-what as the Diamondbacks, they snapped the Mets' 8-game home winning streak. The Diamondbacks are 16-14. The Mets, they're still an impressive 21-10. The Dodgers are 20-10, so a win here gets them tied for the best record in baseball. One kid from the Marlins went bananas, so LA, they're going to have to score a bunch to beat that one kid. Gonzo's back. Tony Gonsolin is making his first start since 2023. Remember, he had Tommy John. He got Augustine to chase on the slider. Max, it took 29 games, but that is Max Muncy's first home run of the year. I guess you can say he got that Max Muncy funky monkey. Shut up. Don't. Mookie, he went golfing for a 2-run single. Both Conforto and Ohtani score. Andy Pages, I guess he wants to win back-to-back player of the week. That's another RBI. And remember how I said a kid went off for the Marlins? Yeah, it was this dude, Kyle Stowers, a 423-foot 2-run moonshot, his first of 2. This one's not the second one. This is a double. Pages, he couldn't get there. Kyle Stowers already has a monster 2 extra base hit, 3 RBI afternoon. Mookie is going to pass that momentarily. He gets some help from the first time. Why is Jesus Sanchez in? Jesus is not a center fielder. Come on, let's not have him out there. That 2-run triple gives him 2 extra base hits and 4 RBIs. Frederick, he's batting .360 with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs his last 14 games after this home run. It's still kind of surreal that we are watching 3 first-ballot Hall of Famers in their prime, Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman as a 1-3 trio. Here's Ohtani. I guess Jesus was just handing out free triples left and right. Miami, they've been making a ton of smart moves. Jesus Sanchez in center field is not one of them. Ohtani scores a few moments later on a wild pitch for their 10th run. And anyway, the Dodgers won easy, but I do want to show Stowers blasting off again. He had 2 home runs and 3 extra base hits. He's hitting .323 on the year with 19 RBIs and an almost 400 on base. He has a .396 on base. Liam Hicks, he's a catcher, a rookie catcher driving in 3. He has 14 RBIs his first 21 games. Staying with 21, the Dodgers are 21-10. They match the Mets. It's pretty obvious that the Rockies do not, in fact, have 21 wins. They have 25 losses. Kind of a fun first not for Rockies fans. Olsen, he ran forever to catch this foul ball, and Chris Sale, he locked in for 2 straight strikeouts to end the first. The Rockies, they got cooking a little bit in the next frame. They got back-to-back base hits to get 2 ducks on, but they only scratched 1 across on a Sean Bouchard, still one of my favorite names in baseball, RBI ground out. Same with the Braves, though. This RBI ground out for Michael Harris was all that they could muster. Chase Dolander, he got Austin Riley to chase. That's a lot of chases in one sentence. The rookie Dolander's got some nasty, nasty stuff. He was great in this one. Brenton Doyle, he's always great in Coors Field. He is literally unstoppable when he's playing in Colorado. He might be the biggest Coors Field merchant ever. His OPS at home is 140 points higher. All 4 of his home runs this year have been at home. Dolander, he struck out 4 with that wicked curveball. Just 1 run across 5 2/3. Chris Sale was even nastier in terms of strikeouts. 10 strikeouts over 7. Kind of sucks, though. He takes the tough L, but that's baseball. The Rockies bullpen had 1 base hit the final 3 1/3. Rookie Zach Agnes, I think that's how you say it. He has yet to allow a run this year. That's his first save. The Rockies pick up their 5th W on the year. Rockies fans can rejoice, while Angels fans might have just had their biggest gut punch in a while because they're taking on the Mariners. Randy, he just demolished an upper decker. That's not the gut punch, though. Mike Trout, he's played in every single game this year. He's trying to grind it out, and after he hustled for, well, I thought he was going to beat it out, he's out. He came up hobbling. No, the left knee. The same knee that he had surgery on, I think once or twice last year. He came out for precautionary reasons, and after the game, he said that treatment to help him feel a little bit better, but Trouty now has a negative WAR on the year. We'll talk about him more in a second because Soler, he momentarily saved the hope, but hope is a dangerous thing. Reed Detmers, he ruined Tyler Anderson's quality start. JP, he sliced one the other way. That was a crazy swing. He just kind of chopped at it like a sword. Yeah, 2-run squeak home. J-Rod, he only had 1 base hit in this game, but at least he made it count. That's a long double. JP scores all the way from first, and then J-Rod, he took off for third base. He's wanting to steal, but he didn't get the steal because Cal put it in play. He dove head first and just barely missed it. Like, he wasn't trying to dive under the baseball, but that's how it worked out. Cal gets the RBI, and a tip of the cap to this Leo Rivas guy. He had 3 base hits, 3 RBIs. He's played 13 games this year. He's hitting .367 with a .513 on base. Is that good? Oh boy, LA had a communication error. Ryan Johnson, he's out to pitch, but so is Jay Eder. Eder had to awkwardly go back to the bullpen as Ryan then gave up a base hit. Like, that's Angels baseball, no offense. The Mariners, they're 18-12 after their 7th consecutive series win. The Angels are 12-17 after losing 5 in a row. And now we have to talk about if it's time or not to trade the GOAT. Is it actually time? Someone has to strike with a Mike Trout trade, right? Like, especially now that his value has never been lower. I put lower in air quotes because it's still going to be a king's ransom. But Trouty, he's owed $37 million a year until 2030 when he's 38 years old. The Angels are a rudderless boat with Artie Moreno at the helm, and me personally, again, the entire franchise needs a reset. Give Trouty a chance to go play for a contender and have that contender take on his albatross of a contract. Mike is hitting 179. He's not playing great defense. He has a negative WAR and 100 at bats. He just banged up that knee. The Angels, they might not even win 75 games. I just don't understand why they're holding on to hope so bad. Like, just reset. You guys need it, honestly. All right, let's move on. I'm going to show these first few home runs super quick. Jeremy Pena, good job, buddy. Awesome solo home run right there. Colt Keith, he just went up Jeremy. That's a 2-run home run. Awesome, very cool. This is not great. Pena, he missed the shovel toss. So the Tigers, they actually have them loaded against the Houston rookie, making his ML... Oh no, it should have been 3 outs already. With 2 strikes, Javier Baez somehow pulled it for a grand slam into the Crawford boxes. An El Mago special. That was just straight up wizardry. I don't know how he did that, but my heart kind of got torn for the rookie, AJ Blue Bo, I think that's how you say it. He gave up a grand slam when it should have been 3 outs. Just a tough start to your career, and again, it's not really all his fault. Javier Baez, by the way, is basically batting .300 on the season. Altuve's batting average is creeping back up there as well. He laced a 2-run double for RBIs 13 and 14. Hanafi, he bailed out Jackson Jobe. Jung, he tossed out Rogers. As Houston, they leave the bases loaded. That was kind of their only chance at winning. Victor Caratini's first home run, it was fun, but that was it for scoring. Tommy Kahnle, he got a 4-out save. He has 5 saves on the year. The Tigers are now 19-12, so man, this is their hottest start in years. Probably, what, a decade or something like that? One more grand slam to recap. Wait, hold on. Is that a bunt? It is a bunt. Jacob Wilson. I did not know that he has that in his arsenal as well. That's an RBI bunt for Luis Severino, who's back to yelling. A bases-loaded strikeout ends his threat. He is so much fun to watch. And, okay, now we are tied. Adolis, he ties it in the 4th inning as Marcus Semien came around from second base. Nathan Eovaldi was awesome. 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. He has a 2.1 ERA across 7 starts, and he leads baseball in whip. A's reliever, Justin Sterner, he's trying to bail out Sevy because the bases are loaded. Sevy allowed 2 of those runners, so Sterner, he struck out Adolis before walking Heim. So is this the grand slam? Well, it's not this at bat because Leote just popped up. And it's not this one either. He got Wyatt Langford. Wow, what a job by Justin Sterner. Now we're in the 9th. Brent Rooker, he's up with a runner on, but this is not a grand slam either. It's cool. He just silenced the crowd with his 8th home run. He has 47 home runs and a 160 OPS plus his last 176 games. Lawrence, here's the grand slam, a 6th spot out of nowhere. Butler's got 5 home runs. The A's are now tied with the Rangers at 16 and 15. They're both 2.5 games back, so it's going to be a fun division race for the rest of the year. Philly also put up 7. 3 of them came in the very first inning. 2 games in a row with multi-RBI home runs for Kyle Schwarber. Just pencil him in every single year for 35-plus home runs. He's got 9 already. He's 7 away from 300 for his career. Washington got 1 off Sanchez, but my friend stole it back. Bryson is hitting .315 with a .370 on base and 5 stolen bases when he's hitting as the Phillies' leadoff hitter this year. They got to keep him up there, in my opinion. Maybe not against the lefty, because lefties can sometimes be tough. Washington, they got 1 back, only to have Philly answer again. Castellanos, he scores Harper, and Kepler, now he's scoring himself an inning later. He's got 3 home runs. He's been really good lately. JT, he barreled up his 2nd of the year for the game's final run. So the Phillies, they've won 4 games in a row, and they're back to within 3.5 games of the Mets after the Mets lost for once. So I saw that the Padres teed off in the first few innings, and I was just crossing my fingers that it wasn't off of JV. It wasn't off of Verlander. Tyler Wade, he's done a decent job at holding it down in the absence of Jackson Merrill. It's an RBI single. He's batting .290 in 15 games. Elias Diaz, probably not a great idea to throw that. He has 2 home runs on the year now. He's awesome at throwing guys out. That's probably the only reason why Luis Campusano, who's raking down in the minor leagues, that's the only reason probably why he's not up, because his defense is shaky. Manny dropped in an RBI of his own. Same with Jose Iglesias, but I'm going to skip to Michael King because he's been so much fun to watch as a starting pitcher, and I'm sure that Yankees fans deep down were like, he's going to run out of steam eventually. He's getting better and better. 6 more strikeouts. He leads MLB with 19 strikeouts looking, and he got some help from Manny from his backside. Manny completes the play. Fitzgerald, he scores easy if that gets through. Jung Hoo Lee, he did manage to get Fitzgerald home as Arias couldn't pull a Manny, but Luis, had Michael King's back. He got it past a diving Lamont Wade Jr. Luis is all the way around for an RBI triple. Oh my God, Elliot Ramos, that is a perfect in real life. He vaporized his 4th home run. Yaz, he tattooed one as well. He's got a 155 OPS plus and 5 home runs. Remember, he's 34 years old. All right, the Padres finally got it to Robert Suarez. He had an easy breezy 2 strikeout 9th inning. He has 12 saves on the year. He has 48 saves and a 2.39 ERA since last year. Josh Hader, who left the Padres, has 42 saves and a 3.45 ERA. So the Padres so far winning that breakup. They're 19-11 on the year. The Giants 19-12. I'm going to spoil it because this is very hard to do. The Kansas City pitching staff has 3 shutouts in the last week, which is awesome because we had a debut. Noah Cameron is making his first ever start. Bobby, he has 21 games in a row with the base hit. And Vinny, he took a mean hack at this pitch, and 392 feet later, it's a 2-run home run. He and Bobby, I guess their home run celebration, if Bobby's on base, is rock, paper, scissors. They both did scissor. We have more Bobby action. Look at the, I'm going to say it. Bobby Witt Jr. is the most complete shortstop since Mariners and Rangers. Alex Rodriguez, like no BS, he actually is. He's on a 21-game hit streak. He's the fastest man in baseball. He's a near platinum glover defensively. And now he's tomahawking 96 at his cranium for an RBI single. He has 1,000 total bases already in his career. Rookie Noah Cameron, the lefty, he's out there dicing. 2 more strikeouts in the 6th, so he goes 6 scoreless in his debut with 0 base hits. It got ruined. It got ruined. It was fair by a few inches. Noah, he ends up going 6 1/3 scoreless, only 1 base hit. He worked around 5 walks. I wasn't going to bring that up, but he does skate around those 5 walks. Carlos Estevez has his 2nd save in as many nights. He has 9 saves as Noah Cameron. He does get his first big league debut. The Royals are 16-15. You guys are about to see why the Cubs gave up on the Rule 5 draft pick Gage Workman. Not in this first clip is William. He singles in Isaac Collins. This one right here with 2 outs, you have to make that play. Maybe he's trying too hard. Maybe he's pressing, but that cannot happen on defense. This Gage Workman fella has -3 DRS in 39 innings at third base. Chicago, they rallied to erase those first few Milwaukee runs as Lenyn Sosa. That's an RBI line drive. Josh Palacios, ouch, that's a painful RBI. And then we had more trading of runs. Vinny Capra, he had a sac fly. Andrew Vaughn, he tied it moments later. Benny Biceps, that's a Cardinal sin, my guy. He got thrown out, but the run does score. You cannot make the final out at third base. Cannot do that. That ends the momentum, and honestly, it swung all the way back to the Brewers. Jake Bowers, this guy's so streaky. That's a loud 2-run double. He's one of those dudes that will go crazy for 3 weeks or 5 weeks and then crater back down to earth as one of the worst hitters in baseball. Caleb Durbin, he lifted a sky ball to right field. Bowers, he scores easy to make it 6-3. Miguel Vargas, he's made some changes. His hands are a little bit higher. He plates Benintendi. He's sitting .462 with only 2 strikeouts in the 7 games since making that swing change. McGill, Trevor McGill, he has 3 saves on the year as the Brewers. They're backed over 500, whereas the White Sox are 7-23. Who's going to lose more games this year, the Rockies or the White Sox? If you made it until the end of today's video, you just watched a record 16 games. It was a big boy recap, but thank you guys so much for always supporting. Leave a like if you made it to the end of the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And one more time, prayers out to that Pirates fan. That was scary, but yeah, enjoy the web gems.
With a 9-0 deficit, unless something miraculous happens. Doubt you see him tonight.
Dominguez got jammed, and Laureano